Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about our top 10 Christmas movies. So, without further ado, let's get into it. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation is fun, I guess. Maybe it's just because I didn't grow up with this one. This wasn't a movie I really ever watched when I was little. So, because of that, I just don't care for it very much. It's fun, I guess, but I feel like the top 9 are just all a lot more enjoyable, a lot more fun, and have a lot more to say. So, because of that, it just falls here. Yes, I'm putting Klaus on here, but this is the only 21st century Christmas movie that is going to go on here. I feel like the reason why I have it on here is because it just kind of shows like the true meaning of Christmas in a way. It shows how unselfish it is and shows it's how it's about being unselfish. And I feel like because of that, I just really enjoy it. I also love the animation. The animation is so beautiful and gorgeous and elegant, and the music. Sometimes there's certain scenes where it just really hits for some reason, and I can't explain why, but it just does. I also do enjoy the adventures that the kids have and the adventures that we have with Klaus, and I love seeing his origin story. I think it's very interesting, and it's tragic, and you feel bad for him as a whole. I feel like there's so much to enjoy about this movie, so much to like about this movie, and compared to some other Christmas movies, I like it a lot more. 8 and up is when you get into the really good movies, in my opinion, because this movie is just a classic. I feel like the reason why it's so entertaining is I love the narration over it. The narration of like telling the stories and explaining it, sort of like how it would be kind of sort of through a child's mind, but also at the same time, not really. I don't know. It's so funny and hilarious to me. I also can't really describe why the jokes work and what kind of humor it is, but for some reason, it just lands. Every single joke is funny. Every single joke is hilarious. The way they're played out, the way they're edited, they're just funny and enjoyable. It's just a very fun, enjoyable, and lighthearted movie, and I feel like that's definitely a good amount of Christmas movies, but once we get into the later ones, you'll definitely see that they're a little bit more than that. Now, yes, How the Grinch Stole Christmas is technically a short, but I'm counting them as movies because let's be honest, this and the next short are both really incredibly good and are better than most Christmas movies. I don't know, this is just a classic. I love the song. The song is great. I also like the whole way they're able to take this Dr. Seuss book and make it come to life in cartoon form, which is not an easy task to do. And while it's still short and is very step by step from the book, I find it very impressive how they were able to do this, in my opinion. I feel like it really takes what the Grinch is, who the Grinch is, and takes what Christmas is, and just brings a whole to it. It's Dr. Seuss with the take on Christmas, and I feel like his take on Christmas is wholesome, and it makes sense. There's a whole message to it. I don't know, you just understand it. A Charlie Brown Christmas, I feel like, is just something that you have to watch like every year. It doesn't matter if you don't watch, Home Alone or It's a Wonderful Life or Christmas Story, but A Charlie Brown Christmas is just something that I feel like is a requirement in like every family to watch pretty much at least once per Christmas. And I feel like the reason why it does that is because, first off, the Peanuts are very entertaining to watch, and everybody just loves the Peanuts. If you don't, you're a monster. But also, at the same time, it shows the true meaning of Christmas. This idea and representation that even the smallest tree deserves love and care, in a way. It's hard to really explain what makes this short work so well, especially since I have not watched it yet as of recording this since last year. But anyways, even with that said, I think A Charlie Brown Christmas is something that's great. It's wholesome. It shows the true meaning of Christmas. A lot of these movies are just like fun and show what Christmas is really about at the same time. It's really hard to explain what makes these movies good until we get into like the top 4. A Charlie Brown Christmas, I feel like, is just something that you have to watch like every year. It doesn't matter if you don't watch, Home Alone or It's a Wonderful Life or Christmas Story, but A Charlie Brown Christmas is just something that I feel like is a requirement in like every family to watch pretty much at least once per Christmas. And I feel like the reason why it does that is because, first off, the Peanuts are very entertaining to watch, and everybody just loves the Peanuts. If you don't, you're a monster. But also, at the same time, it shows the true meaning of Christmas. This idea and representation that even the smallest tree deserves love and care, in a way. It's hard to really explain what makes this short work so well, especially since I have not watched it yet as of recording this since last year. But anyways, even with that said, I think A Charlie Brown Christmas is something that's great. It's wholesome. It it shows the true meaning of Christmas. A lot of these movies are just like fun and show what Christmas is really about at the same time. It's really hard to explain what makes these movies good until we get into like the top 4. Miracle on 34th Street is a very interesting one because this is one that not many people talk about, and I think people should because I really like this one. This one is a great concept in my opinion. This idea of Santa Claus trying to like prove that he's real and stuff, and it ends up tying into them trying to have a court, them go to court and prove that he is Santa Claus. It's a really goofy and wacky concept, but at the same time, it's very interesting and weirdly grounded and real with the way it portrays it. I feel like a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's black and white, so they can't show a lot of the magic and such. So it's just this normal guy walking around, or at least appears to be a normal guy walking around, who's claiming to be Santa Claus, which I feel like makes it feel more unreal and adds the mystery to him more. So I feel like I'm glad that they had this, at least in my opinion. And the way they're able to do it is very interesting and fun. I love the third act. It's so great. And I feel like the actor who plays Santa Claus, who is Edmund Gwen, I feel like he does a really great job at portraying the joyness, the fun, the hopefulness of Santa Claus. And I love seeing that with him, that joyful and hopeful side. Also, I like the commentary on, families that don't really let the kids believe, don't let the kids imagine things, don't let the kids, have these things that they believe in that maybe aren't real, but it's great to believe in these sort of fantasies and ideas and have this big imagination in a way, which is a theme that's taught in a lot of Christmas movies, but not a lot of good ones. However, with this one, this is, one of the good ones. So with that said, Miracle on 34th Street, love it. Great movie. Definitely something that I recommend to a lot of people who haven't seen it, especially, of course, during Christmas. There's always a ton of debate for whatever reason if Die Hard is a Christmas movie or not. And I feel like if it was a movie more like Miracle on 34th Street, or even Home Alone, which is just about bad guys and traps and stuff and isn't even really that much about Christmas, it's just about a kid being home alone on Christmas, but for some reason Die Hard, it's not like that because it's a rated R action movie or whatever. But I feel like it's just about it's around as Christmassy as Home Alone, at least in my opinion. Maybe that's a crazy thing to say, but I don't care. It's a Christmas movie in my opinion. I think it is. First off, the action is great. I absolutely love it. Seeing Bruce Willis mow down 100 guys is fun, but also at the same time it makes it seem realistic. You can definitely see that this guy is flawed as he constantly gets injured in almost every fight that he's in, but at the same time it's so fun and entertaining to watch. It's the perfect mixture of fun and entertaining, but at the same time having a flawed protagonist. And I feel like some action movies struggle with that, specifically the Fast and Furious franchise, which is a franchise that isn't able to make their characters, protagonists, flawed with having stupid, dumb, fun action. But, this one's able to do that. Bruce Willis's character also is really good. You really want him to get out of this situation. You really want him to, to escape the situation. And it makes you question, how is he going to do it? How is he going to get through this? How is he going to, end up, surviving this? But it always finds a way. They're always able to find a way at the end of it. And it's very interesting. It feels realistic at the same time, how even though he's taking down 50 guys, it makes it known that he's just a man, that he's just a person that's just trying to get through this at the same time, which I feel like works quite well. Overall, it's just a really good, really great action movie that's really fun and entertaining to watch. It's quite rewatchable. It's quite enjoyable. I had a blast watching it the first time, the second time, and while I haven't really watched it yet this year, I wouldn't mind watching it a third time. Love it. Great movie. This is a movie I've talked about very, very many times, and yeah, I love it. It's Jack the Pumpkin King, with the great animation, the great songs, the great themes. I've talked about this movie endlessly. I don't feel like talking about it right now. It's just a great overall movie, great Halloween movie, great Christmas movie, and it's the only one to be both. It's a Wonderful Life. I feel like every year I forget how great this movie is, and then once I watch it again, I'm reminded of what makes this movie so absolutely fantastic and memorable. First off, the lines are absolutely fantastic. This is one of those movies that has every line is great. Every line is catchy. It has this little thing to it, and there's these little characters that have their own little kind of quirks and mannerisms. There's this one guy who does this thing where he says "hee ha" like every time when he waves goodbye to somebody, and it's just like it's this weird little thing that we constantly see happen, and it's like little things like that that are just so interesting and fascinating to me and make it so memorable and fun and exciting and exhilarating. Like there's just little things like that with the dialogue that are quippy, they're fast paced, and to make it entertaining and fun. And I feel like that's where a lot of true entertainment can lie, in my opinion, is from the dialogue and the characters being fun, entertaining, and energetic. It's a 2.5 hour, no, it's not 2.5. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes. And while it doesn't really have much going on, it's just kind of events in his life, you're still entertained because you like him, you like the side characters, and the actors do such a great job at making everything so fun and enlightening, in my opinion. It all just works so well. Also, the cinematography is very good. It's nothing crazy memorable, but I don't know, I think it works, in my opinion. Also, James Stewart does a fantastic job at playing George Bailey, at playing this man who's just kind of normal, who's kind of not exactly normal, but like he's someone who has dreams, he has aspirations, and you feel his dreams and aspirations, and you kind of wish that he reached for them, and you root for the guy, you like him. He's a likable and great protagonist, but at the same time he's flawed, and we see those flaws as we slowly see his success decline, as we slowly see kind of like his life decline as a whole. His flaws start to open up, and we see more of the flawed man that he truly can be at moments when things aren't, doing well, when things aren't, great at the same time. And that scene at around the end of it where we see him losing $8,000, you feel bad for him, but at the same time, he shouldn't be acting out like this on everyone. He shouldn't be taking it out on his daughters and on his wife. It's not good for him to do, but at the same time, you feel so bad for him, and you feel like you'd also be frustrated in this situation at the same time while you're watching this, and the scene in the bar as well, and him yelling at this man's wife and all of that happening. And then we get to the part where he starts to learn the lesson and starts to see, what would happen if he truly wasn't born, and how, I feel like the whole point and message of this movie is trying to show and trying to tell people that our lives do matter. Our lives do have an impact on people. There's certain things that we do in our lives. There's certain things that we, commit to, and certain things that we do for people of the goodness and kindness of our heart. And we don't think much of it. We don't think it really matters. We don't think what we're doing really matters. But at the same time, it matters way more than people think it does. It matters way more than, than we could ever know, we could ever realize. And seeing that idea that what would happen if we weren't born, and seeing, we do matter. We do matter as people, even if what we do is small, even if what we do isn't big and important like George wanted to do. He's still an important person. He's still an important man, even with not accomplishing what he wanted, what he truly desired to, which it's sad. He wasn't able to, do what he wanted to do. He wasn't able to do what his dream. He wasn't able to accomplish his dream, but at the same time, he was able to accomplish something else. He was able to have a wife, have a family, and still be happy, even without accomplishing that big dream that he wanted. So overall, It's a Wonderful Life, fantastic movie. I'd say it's one of my favorites. Love this movie. It's so great. It's so good. I highly recommend you check it out. Beautiful movie. Absolutely beautiful. It's something that I wish was shown so much more. I wish it was like Home Alone, where everybody watched it every year. What a great movie.